Greetings, everyone. For the next few days, there will not be any new uploads. So, for my new subscribers, you can go back, way back, and find some other videos to watch on my channel. I want to leave you with this one for now. There's a very dangerous trend that is going around, but it's not just the physical aspect of that trend, is the mental aspect of it. And it is not a new one where women say, if a man does not hit me, he does not love me. Now, that is some deep psychological problem. And I'm seeing it a lot and hearing it a lot in our young people. So even when I'm watching, some channels in Jamaica and people are doing prank, sometimes the male respond in a very aggressive way, or if he doesn't do it physically, he will make threats. And just the way the females respond to these threats really surprises me and disturbs me. So I'm going to say, as someone who have experienced that in the past, that our young people understand that there's nothing about violence towards women or violence in a relationship, whether it be the male doing it to the female or the female doing it to the male. There's nothing about that that is normal. There's nothing about that we should normalize or promote. It is very disturbing. And the way I hear people talking about it, especially young girls, justifying men putting their hand on them in violent ways. So when I hear these things, and I'm saying it's not new, but it's become so regularized. I can never say that word right. They're making it seem so normal. So they're normalizing this thing. And it just makes us realize how messed up our mind is, how disturbing these things are in our community. Now, I know a lot of kids grow up in a household with violence. And so when they grow up, they think that is love. There are so many families that are dysfunctional, and the whole idea of love being equated with someone causing harm and pain to another person, I just feel so concerned. So I'm making this video for the young people who are saying that every female, gets abused. Pretty much by like saying every man will just be a man and he'll do these things to a woman, and she should see it as something that demonstrate love. That is very disturbing on so many levels. We can't raise our girls and our sons for that matter and leave them with the impression that that is okay. So when you see all the violence are measured out against women in Jamaica, you can understand now that people, even the adults, the older people in Jamaica, because they are showing these kind of acts, these kinds of arguments that for so long young people are hearing and seeing, and it just seems like it has gotten worse. Because back in the day, you'd have older people doing these things, but now you have teenagers, young girls, and young boys are in relationship, teenage puppy love, and this is what these individuals are dealing with. And again, I want to be very cautious in what I'm saying so that you don't leave thinking that it's just boys or men that are doing this to women. You have it the other way too. When a lot of women realize that a guy is very quiet, they will take disadvantage of that situation and they will enter into these abusive kinds of relationship where because they know the guy is not going to hit back, they abuse their position because they know the guy loves them, and so they'll be abusive towards the man. I listened to these young girls talking on the topic recently, and I was very upset when I listened to it because I thought to myself, they can't possibly believe this is okay. And the question is, where are they getting this? And I'm saying, when is this going to be shut down? I think more should be done, especially when it comes to, you know, the police force in Jamaica to go into these schools and to talk to these young people, to talk to the boys that it's not okay. And these guidance counselors need to have special sessions with the females in the school system to let them know this isn't okay and that they should not encourage that, and that they should understand that if someone hurts you, that is not love. Love does not hurt you physically. We have to stop allowing our mind to go to that depth, that low place where we feel that love is about pain and suffering. It is not. We have to move the young people mind away from that. And if you're an older woman and you're in an abusive situation with somebody, it's just not okay. And you think within yourself that this person will not physically harm you in a way that could threaten your life, but that's not true. How do you determine that this slap or this push or this fit of rage will not cause permanent damage to your body? Why should anybody put their hand on another person, regardless of what the circumstance is? No, sometimes people argue and things get out of hand, and before you know it, they're, engaging in physical fights. But if you are in a relationship and your partner, has to lay a hand on you or you on your partner, then that is saying that perhaps it's time for you to go your separate ways. So we as women, adult women, have to speak to these young people. And when you realize that a girl, which oftentimes is going through domestic violence, you have to let them know it is not okay. It isn't okay. You have to let the young boy, if you have sons, let them know from they're very young, you should never put your hand on a female. And if she's provoking you, and if she's the kind of person that is doing things to you to make you so angry to where you would want to use, these acts of violence on her, then perhaps you need to be with someone else. If I had a son and my son had a female, a girlfriend, or whatever, a partner that, would want him to treat her this way, I would have to talk him out of that kind of relationship. It's just not worth it. It isn't worth it. And anyone who feels that it's okay for you to demonstrate love by hurting someone else, then I say you need counseling. We have to really talk to these young people because they're not really thinking. When I listen to them and I watch the way they deal with each other violently and the abusive words that they throw towards each other and the things that they do that are so disrespectful, and then they turn around and say it's love. These individuals know nothing about love. And when these ones bring children in the world, all they're doing is going to psychologically damage those children. And that to me is what is most concerning. Does the possibility of you and your partner get into quarrels or disagreement a thing that is very common? Of course. But at the point when you decide that you want to exercise your own will by striking someone because you don't agree with what they have done or what they're saying, then I say pack it in. And if you are in such a relationship, you need to get out. And I know it's not always easy because sometimes women are depending on men. But when you find that someone is, treating you violently or speaking to you in a way that is so aggressive and so disrespectful, there's nothing else there There's no love there, and no love will ever grow from that. And at that point, you need to remove yourself. Sometimes women are afraid to go because they can't take care of their own needs. They're in a vulnerable position and they're depending on men for whatever reason. I'm saying to you, if a person loves you, they could never want to see you in pain. They would never want to hurt you. And I'm going to say you cannot control, you know, how hard that person is going to hit. They might just, cause you your life. It's not funny. The young people are really badly in need of counseling. It's really scary. The things that people are accepting and saying this is normal. It's not normal. Even if you see it around you, you should not accept it.